So I'm Dan Jones, I'm a technologist. I like to think of myself as like the doorman, right? So I'm the person that welcomes you in, gets you anything you need, puts you in touch with the right people. That's kind of my job at Hamina. So Hamina Wireless, we make Wi-Fi design tools, not just design, but also kind of troubleshooting, monitoring. We help you to kind of visualize what's going on. It's about making sure that you are putting in place things that are going to be accurate, that are going to work properly without having to go and put it all up first and then find that it doesn't work, right? So much better to design it, build out a 3D space, put things in there and see how it's going to work. You can even walk around the kind of virtualized 3D space, pick the client that you're using, and we'll show you kind of what experience you can expect to get. So one of the awesome things about the Hamina and Juniper relationship that we've got is that obviously Juniper's this API first platform, right? And what's amazing about that is that what we can do is we can go in and draw data down all the time from the Juniper platform. So little things like we can get the measurements from AP to AP, so we can see how loud every AP hears every other AP. We can map that in, but we can also then go and take what's your current configuration right now, and we can take that and we can show you that in a live environment. So if you want to see how utilized the space is, say you've got an event that's going on or an exam hall or something like that where you can't really be in that location, but you want to make sure that everything's okay, and rather than just looking at like a table of numbers, we can actually visualize that for you, show you how busy it is, show you the kind of like blast radius of that, and all live as it's happening right now. And the fact that we're both this kind of cloud native platform, we're able to ingest that data straight away. We can push things back into Juniper as well. So if you've created that 3D building for the design, then what we can do is we can actually export that straight into the dashboard, so that you've got all your APs placed on a map in the right place straight away within the Juniper dashboard. It kind of works both ways. We're able to pull in the inventory that you've got in the Juniper dashboard so that you can place it in the design. So you know exactly where every single AP is going to go. You can hand that over to an installer. They know exactly where everything's going. And you kind of just get rid of all of that silly mistakes that can happen from kind of things being not so obvious. One of the really awesome things that we have with the integration and being able to pull data out via the API is now when you go and you do a validation survey, right? So you walk around the space with the survey device, you're listening to all of the Wi-Fi that's coming in. What we can do is we can take all of those measurements, those millions and millions of measurements that we take, and we can actually build out like an attenuation heat map, right, of that space. We don't know necessarily where the walls are, we don't know where your furniture is, we don't know where your bookcase full of tin cans are and things like that, but what we can see are the effects of how Wi-Fi is or isn't working getting through those objects, because we know exactly how Wi-Fi moves around that building. So now what we can do is take that model, put it on top of the live view that we have. So now as your RRM makes changes, as the Juniper system makes changes, as Marvis makes changes, what we can see is how that affects in real world right now the space using that RF model that we've taken and been able to place on top of that 3D live view. We're still really early days with this. We want to get more data. We want to get more insights into there. We want to be able to give you things like the ability to replay that stuff. We want to get more of the models and makes and not just Wi-Fi, but other things too. There's a lot kind of on the roadmap that's coming. We're right at the beginning of this, and we can see there going to be a lot more kind of stuff that we can do together.